Hello, in today's class, we are going to discuss the First World War phenomenon. It happened between 1914 to 1918. Now, it was a series of events which happened back to back, and multiple causes were related to it. First one we see over here is that spirit of ultra nationalism. We had already discussed that nationalism for love for one's own nation, and in ultra nationalism what happens that people develop the hatred for other land. Okay, second thing which we notice over here is arms race. Every nation wanted to be a superior nation. They wanted to control the military, they wanted to control the navy, they wanted to control all around the world, right? Because now this was related to concept of prestige and power. So this became a bone of contention among the geographical nations across the Europe. Also, it is said that we have already studied when Vienna Congress, it happened in 1815 AD, we saw over here a redrawal of boundaries of geographical boundaries. It was seen across the Europe. And what did it lead to? It led to rise for this concept of that this is my land, this is my territory. Is it clear? Apart from this, Franco-German rivalry. Now understand that this was the area of Germany, right? And this was the area of France. We had already seen that two of the provinces, one was Lorraine, and one was Alsace. Both these places had been occupied by Germany. They had been with a redrawal of boundaries taken by Germany. And what happened? Now France wanted it back, right? So the rivalry between two superior nations grew further. Apart from this, we had also noticed by this time coming up of Anglo-German rivalry. Now, it is said that the Britishers were the first rated power in the world, and Germany wanted to occupy this place. And Germany, it is said that it wanted to become a naval superior power across the world. You understand how this whole process is happening, that each nation wants to be a superior nation, because I have already mentioned that economy is equal to empire. The more strong a nation is, the more strong its economy is, more extent of boundaries it can capture. Now, also see another reason over here is imperialism and colonialism. Now, what was this? That these nations, when they settled up their colonies in the far off lands, ultimately what happened that from there they took the raw material into their own nation, they manufactured the products, and now they needed a market to sell the produce back. So this was competition among the superior nations which had already been going on. Also, it is said that autocratic character of German ruler. Germany was, yes, there was a question in UPSC 2000 and I think 24 or 23 means they have asked this question, how Germany is responsible for World War and World War II. Okay, we'll see that. Apart from this, there was a Eastern question. Now, this was regarding your Balkan states, the division of the Balkan states. We'll see that. But what is more important over here was the immediate cause. Okay, the immediate cause, which was because of the Austrian prince Archduke Ferdinand, who was on a vacation and he was killed by the Serbian guy. So the war basically, it starts like this, that uh, first of all, it's Austria and it's Serbia. What happens that Austria declares a war on Serbia, and then Austria is joined by Germany, and then Serbia is joined by Britain and France. We'll see as the class proceeds. Another thing at that time also was that there was no international organization. There was no international organization, although in Vienna Congress they did talk about the concept of international relation, but there was no yet any organization present during that time. All these causes, they combinedly led to the formation of First World War. Is it clear? Now, understand this, that what was happening in 17th and 18th century over here, all these European powers, it is said that they had engaged in a series of war because they wanted to increase their domination in different parts of the world. The ideologies we have already discussed of colonialism and imperialism had spread. They wanted multiple colonies as much as possible, as much as territories they want, right? And the nations over here was France, England, Spain, and Portugal. So directly or indirectly, they wanted to control other territories. Why? Because they wanted more resources. They wanted more labor. Because they wanted to sustain their own industrial growth. Because by this time, 18th century, 17th century Renaissance, 18th century Industrial Revolution was happening in Europe. By the time of 19th century, we had seen that the European nations, they had entered the beginning of era of new imperialism. Okay, this is a new form of imperialism, which was initially over here, they wanted domination of power. Okay, now here they wanted to settle up the colonies. Okay, they wanted such colonies from where they could extract the resources for their own sustenance, right? And number of colonies which came up here, some were settler colonies, some were colonies of dependent, and some were plantation colonies. Now we have seen that initially the people of England, they had migrated various people in the northern part of America. 13 colonies were set up over there. We had seen plantation colonies where the white colonizers, they took the slaves over there and they made them work in the farmlands for their own production, right? And similarly, the colonies of dependencies, the classic example over here is of Indian territory. You see what happened in India. The Britishers, they were dependent on the economic resources of India. Dadabhai Naroji has very rightly said about the drain of wealth which was happening in India. Now,